So good evening and welcome to Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We have got a cracker for you today. It's day 2 of week 2, and guess what? We're heading up one of the big climbs, actually in the heart of Watopia, on going up the volcano climb, all part of the out and back route. This is an absolutely cracking route. I really love this. We're on Sanding Sequoias on Tuesday for the DCG. We're on a Champs-Élysées with a solo breakaway win yesterday for the women's only Wednesdays on the Donny Chaingang, and today we're at out and back. Now this is a route that is very, very difficult to ride solo, and the run in though good for attacking. So generally going to break, go to groups, come back together again. Proper Donny Chaingang stuff. That's what we want to see. Don't forget, of course, we're here all the way through to the end of April with our Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got our Women's Only Wednesdays every other week, and they ticking on, so a couple of weeks now to the next one. And of course, lots of in real life racing as well. Now, the man who is charged with tonight's keeping the group together is the one and only Russ Downing, and Russ having another busy week. For those people who don't know, Russ has got a lot going on in the background with the Cycle Espresso starting to make its way out and around the country. Make sure you go onto the website, the Cycle Espresso, 2 words, so 2 E's in the middle, Cycle Espresso in the website, and then go have a look where all those cafes are and see where you can get your caffeine fix. He says wearing a t-shirt that says legal speed with the coffee cup on it, so definitely sensitive to it. The man supplying the coffee is the one and only Russ Downing. Russ, how are you doing?
I'm okay, mate. Nice t-shirt.
It is. It's very good. I've got to say a big thank you to Tim Bonnet and the team at Bike Ninja for it. They look after me very much with all sorts of great logos for t-shirts, and this is definitely one of them. And if there was ever a t-shirt for anybody, I think it's probably this one for me. I have to say. So that's the one. Now, guys, going to need plenty of legal speed tonight because it's quite an interesting route we've got tonight. We've got Carl Briggs on red bus duty tonight. I think it's Carl's first trip as red bus. I'm not 100% certain. We've done so many now that kind of losing track of our red beacons because so many people have volunteered. But it's a tough course, and I think he could be busy tonight.
Yeah, I think it's quite tough, and then we're going to try and stay as much together as possible till we up the climb. But it's not easy. So we'll see what happens. But if you're struggling, drop back, find a group, and if you want to be if you want a cruisy ride, go and see Carl in the back group, and he'll look after you, serving drinks and cocktails. I've heard.
It sounds good to me. I think I need to be heading that way. Never mind everybody. Never mind everybody else. And of course, busy week this week with the women's only Wednesday last night. Really cracking route round Champs-Élysées. We're going to be heading in a little while, not all that long, before we're there with the Open Chain Gang on a Tuesday and Thursday as well. So going to be interesting to see a really aggressive ride once that go went yesterday. We saw the same again on Tuesday. What's your thoughts on the front of the ride once that go is given? You think it's going to be pretty spicy? I mean, there's a lot of riders, 130 plus, I think, tonight, 140 or so.
Yeah, it's always, we had great fun. I will admit I missed last night's footage. I saw some of the socials and that, but didn't actually tune into YouTube and not had a minute today to do it. But I will catch up. But I did see the socials and everyone said it was fast and furious, which is great. Great job, Emma, for leading that one. And I'm looking forward to going back there. Well, I don't know when we're going, Matt. I can't remember. My head's in a spin.
2 or 3 weeks,
next week or the week
I
after.
can't remember.
3 weeks.
We've got so many routes planned now, and we're already starting to look into February, of course, because it's going to be middle of January this weekend. So we're going to start going into February. It's quite scary thoughts already, but lots of great news coming out, including the routes to the people who are members of the DCG gang, and great to see so many people joining up on the gang.
Yeah, definitely. Were you saying February there? That is very scary. March the 5th, we've got little one on the way. So yeah, not long when you say it's nearly February.
Just you wait till we get to February. The wind-ups will be really starting. We'll make sure we get plenty in. Don't you worry. You'll be too wound up. You'll be flying off the front of the group if you're not careful. Well, we're better let you go, Russ, because time is ticking away just like it is in the days. Because it's a minute and a half to go to start time. Better tell people where we're heading. We'll hopefully catch up with you mid-ride today.
Yeah, don't keep me too long. I've got furniture and nurseries to sort out. So yeah, cheers, guys. I'll catch you later.
So great to catch up with Russ. Let's head straight into the map. And as you can see, we're on Out and Back. It's a cracking route. It's one of my favourite routes, actually, on the circuit, along with Watopia's waistband. I quite like it. It's a nice big loop, basically. So you come out of the start on the Fuego Flats, we go underneath Fuego Flats Rock Arch. We head through the desert as our blue dot is doing on our Zwift Hacks map. Come down in through the tunnels, then we climb out of the tunnels over by the marina, through the Italian villas, through the sprint. We go up over the back of the S's, then we go round up onto the volcano, climb the volcano all the way to the top of the volcano, then reverse it, come all the way back down it again. Then we head back out towards the Italian villas once again, go past the S's this time and go up on to the reverse KOM, drop down around the spiral descent and then back in. This is brutal, it's tough, 303 metres of climbing. Carl Briggs, our red beacon, will have his work cut out. Remember the key number to remember, 42.2k. Now, that route looks complicated. This is actually what it unpacks as. When we stretch it out on our fantastic Velo Viewer graphics, big thank you to Ben and all of the team at Velo Viewer. The gang able to access that Velo Viewer graphics, as can you if you're just watching in. It's a great way to see exactly what's happening, and you can just get a good idea from this. You can see that little run through the desert, this little kick up at about 8k that is dropping through the initial part in towards Titans, then dropping out the other side into the tunnels at 10k. We're then underground, and then we climb out slight riser at 14k. Then we pick up around the side of the villas, and when we get to 20k, then we come into the volcano. The Stet volcano climb takes us up, so the first ramp and the first flattening takes us in through the volcano itself, and then we wind our way up to the top at 24 kilometers, dropping back down out at 26, and then we start heading back in that reverse KOM, smaller than the volcano, and that is between 32 and 34k. It's a long climb, and then we head back down and finish at Fuego Flats once again. So big route, 39.9 plus the 2.4k lead in 42.3, 42.4 should be the distance that our riders are coming in towards the finish. The riders now heading out and away on the Chaingang, and just steadily starting to group themselves together. So let's head across and keep an eye on our riders who are currently heading out on the Donny Chaingang live here on the Down in Cycling YouTube channel. So you can see our riders at the moment, that group. It's an interesting way round. Our red beacon in front of the yellow beacon at the moment. That's a novel idea. Maybe Russ is doing swaps, is on the way through. So the companion app showing about 126. We know it's actually about 138 or so that should be dropping into it. There's been a big Zwift update, and that's going to make a huge difference. At the moment, our last rider on the road, I think, is going to be Jason Stevens. But remember, with only 100 and riders shown, it's going to make a huge difference in terms of being able to see who the last rider is. May well be Potts, who's just jumping onto the back here. We're going to try and keep a little bit of a check as we run out now. Mark Thorpe starting to make his way onto the back of the group. You can just see these riders just jumping in at the back of that pack. So Mark at the moment just tucks in behind those boulders. The camera just hopefully going to pick him up as he comes out. Here he comes. So Mark Thorpe at the moment just making his way out from behind the boulders, and now starting to head back towards the group. He's got his work cut out to get back in. The gang already rolling along pretty quickly. and just sorting themselves out. Currently on one of the fastest frames out there, and really interesting. In fact, the Cervelo frame that has been one of the fastest aero frames currently has a bit of a glitch in the system, and it means that the Smart Money's already swapping back over back to this frame. You can see both these riders on that. Thorpe on a disc wheel setup as the riders are going past, currently on more lightweight wheels on the way through. So it just depends on what you're focused on as to what it's going to do best, whether you want that disc or whether you want to get yourself some lighter weight wheels. So Richard Langley just coming around the side of Thorpe after having dropped back to give him a hand. Still got two more riders behind. I think Tom Haggard behind here at the moment. So Tom just chasing into the back of this pack at the moment as we make our way up. Remember, the archway under here, the rock arch, is the finish next time through. So when we go through, this will be the final run into that finish, coming in underneath this finishing arch. So next time through here, and this is where our riders are going to see the arch coming through, and you can see at the moment Mr. Templeman just starting to get distance here, and just take a little bit of a check on those stats. It needs to be doing about a watt per kilo more than the rest of the group if he's going to get himself on. Currently pushing at 3. The group should be doing, I think it's 2 watts per kilo, but that gap is starting to open. He's going to need some breadcrumbs, so looks like Templeman at the moment from Velo Bounce just distanced a little bit here, which is going to jump up in the air. I think if the gang can drop a few breadcrumbs back, you can just see that gap really has started to open up at the moment, and there are riders already being trailed off the back of the pack, as you can see here. So Templeman at the moment 7 seconds off the back of that main group, just working to get himself back into the pack. Looks like Keith Richardson just going to be dropping back to give him a hand here. So I think Keith now kicks up, and these two riders work together. They'll get back on Richardson. We know one of our real fast riders, so gone back to give a bit of a hand. We'll just drop in with Keith here, and you can just see these two riders working to come back in. Richardson just giving Templeman a hand, just drop in with Templeman now, and these are riders working their way up and through. Craig Genther's gone back, and Josh Malin's gone back as well, I think. So Josh from Halo, one of our key supporters, now needs to pick that pace up. It's just keep pinging everybody through. So it looks like this group just starting to come together now. Carl Briggs just tucked in here in that red. Beacon's got the orange jersey on now. Drop a ride on to Carl, and this group coming. Liam Callaway dropping back. They're going to get the back of this pack together, I think, pretty quickly here. Liam Callaway, one of our real fast men as well. And good to see Liam working well up at the back here. So Callaway and Briggs, it's a real tough workout, we do say this. Lots. It is a hard ride at the back of the group. The key is to stay around that yellow. The more people stay around yellow and blob up around yellow, the better it is by miles. Now, just looking like Jimmy Allen, just rolling back in just to give a hand as well. Jimmy, of course, the Wolf, the man who will be standing in for us. And Jimmy, all I can say is I hope you've got the first couple of weeks in March available. If everything goes to plan, fingers crossed, touching wood very, very fast, because hopefully the bear won't be around, because there's going to be baby bear appearing hopefully very, very shortly. So if Russ is somewhere in sight at that moment in time, I think we'll be banning him from Zwift for a bit. Apparently Jimmy says he's washing his hair. I'm not sure about that. I know the Wolf has got quite a copious amount of hair and fur to wash, but there you go. Right, so Mr. Briggs just rolling around at the back, keeping a check on everything. Let's have a little bit of a look here. He looks like Briggs, Mr. Stevens in this little group as well. Greg Pillsworth in here. So this back of this group working nicely together at the moment, and that's what we want to see. So if we take our helicopter up into the air, you can just see this red beacon group just diving into the tunnels here. And if that bus forms together, I think that's going to be the Phil Ozake or Kieran Smith at the back there. They'll soon get themselves into the back of the pack. I'm loving Carl Johnson's comment of now we know why there's a break this year. No second yellow. No, we've got plenty of people prepared to do yellow beacon. Don't you worry. It's more about all the work that goes on behind the scenes rather than the actual ride itself, believe me. The bit on the bike is the easy bit, the bit behind the mic, the easy bit is all the work that goes on behind the scenes. So after 2 solid years, we're going to take a 4-month break in May, June, July and August. Also, real life events should be exceptionally busy as well, and fully expected not to be able to get super busy. And then we are going to be back in action back in September. The gang, of course, will still roll on the Facebook pages, on the all the support, all the chats, all the no doubt spin-off rides, and the various rides. You never know, be some in real life. We might well have some pop-up rides going on as well, and of course all of that happening on the way through now. The gang looking good. Carl Briggs keeping close attention at the back of this group here. You can just see Jimmy Allen just on the back on the in that Mondrian inspired kit, and just been really interesting. People reading the Slaying the Badger book by Will Fotherington, a friend of mine, and saying just how good it is. And if you've not read it, it's definitely worth a watch to really catch up with the events back with Bernard Hino, and a little bit of a Hino hairdo, but though Hino never having the beard that I can remember, but definitely that Mondrian kit in action with the fantastic picture of him in the middle of a strike having a dust up. Brilliant to see. So good to know that Bertie Widdowson is back with us, and Bertie Widdowson, 212 max current heart rate. I thought mine was blowing chunks at about 176 today. That's not good news. 212, that's scary stuff from Bertie. We might have a little bit of heart rate bingo a little bit later on. You never know. The group at the moment on the way out through the desert. We drop some stats in, and you can just see we're coming away from that lakeside. The back of the gang just rolling its way around, just not panicking, getting themselves onto the back of that pack. So Carl Briggs, looks like Jeff Sace. I'll drop him back to see Jeff back in action again. So all about just keeping the pace. Donahue, yes, Emma did indeed have them at 4 kilowatts per kilo tempo for a while last night. If you haven't watched it, go back on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel and watch it. Talk about ramped. Right, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and then when it went bing, it was absolutely scary as. I think it definitely was super fast. Carl, keep this pace in just one mass sprint at the end. See how Matt manages that. Thanks, Carl. If that happens, I'll eat my fella skin. Ain't going to happen. That's for sure. Mick Clark, brilliant watch last night. It was indeed brilliant. Let's have a look, Kevin. Watching them down that road, they were all chasing down one rider. I'm not going to spoil it for you and say what happens, but it was awfully close yesterday, and it was absolutely frantic. Rusty's right. Yeah, if everyone rides around and just, I will get, but it's all right. I'll just jump back on the turbo for 5 minutes. Actually, in the background behind me for when we're testing out routes and making sure that we've got everything dialed and just making sure we know exactly what's going. Joe Jarvis, my legs died after the fork. Yeah, Joe actually was riding last night and rode really strongly. It's awesome riding to see Joe back on here again. We've also got Tiff Fletcher in. I think that's 3 in a row for Tiff, 3 in a row I think for Joe Jarvis as well. Bearing in mind that I know Joe is racing on Monday night as well. And that is some going. Recovery ride tonight then, Joe. Either that or just take the whole weekend off. I'm not going to tell you that our Yellow Beacon has actually decided to swap sessions out and have tonight off after last night's ride. Because it was so tough. Terminator 2, 2.0, Tracy Seeley, another phenomenal ride by Tracy as well. She's out and about somewhere. We've got lots more of our riders in here that we regularly see and have come through from the women's Donny Chaingang in as well. Dixie Freer's in here. I think we're seeing quite a lot of the gang back in once again. We'll just have a little bit of a fluff up and through. Back is doing the business. Gussie Dale Williams back in. Gussie Becky Story is in here. And yesterday, our red beacon, in fact, was Sammy Stewart. Now, for those of you who've not been following, Sammy has been a regular in the gangs. We've just got Tracy Seeley just ticking along nicely at 152. So yesterday's red beacon was Sammy Stewart. Now, Sammy Stewart started off riding with us about 12 months ago, I think, at the Christmas period. It was pretty awesome riding by her. She was getting very, very fast. Really, really quick. Then got signed up by the Aeolian squad. We've got lots of the AO riders with us tonight. Continued to progress and then took part in the Canyon Esports competition. And is one of, I think it's 10 female riders on the women's team. There's 10 on the men's team. In the beta team, amazing, gorgeous jersey. Absolutely fantastic. Nick Dorsey would be proud of it. It's that good. And gotta say, the riders had a top-class red beacon. Possibly the best red beacon duties I've seen. Pacing on riders. We have Ruby Isaac, fresh from the gang. And fresh from the National Championships. Did an amazing ride getting back on. Sammy just getting that pace and light, pulling people back in and through. Get loads of encouragement for the riders as well. Bringing that group home. Great, really good to see that in action now. The riders at the moment just coming in through Vegas. As you can see, we're just working our way in through the gang. Just doing with Young Tom Lindley. Mr. Thorpe's in here. Neil Mon in here. Matt Gilmore's in. Daisy Freer, Russell Osman in as well. Looks like Nick McDermott back in the gang. Let's take a little bit of a drop back to the back of this group, just rolling along quite nicely. And this is all about pulling everybody in and through. So Jason Stevens in here. So young Mr. Gilmore, 111 beats per minute, one of our real fast riders. Watch out for this young man when we hit the climb of the volcano. If the trigger has been given by then, I'm not sure when Russ is going to pull the pin on this one. It's quite a tricky one as a yellow beacon to make the decision of when to go on here. Because what you find is you come along, we've got the volcano's about half distance. Go too early, of course, as the beacon. You're going to smash that group apart really early. The aim, of course, being to pull everybody along, so it's going to be really, really tricky. I think we've got pretty much everybody together. I'm just taking a little bit of a check back on the screens and just checking back. I think the entire group all together at the minute. Great job being done by Carl, just making sure everybody's in the pack at the back. It's nice to see, and the gang all together and riding as a group. One big happy family. Well, until Russ gets mean, let's put it that way. So the gang riding on the climb now. This is a little climb in towards the sequoias. Remember, we did this on Tuesday. And looks like Russ's heart rate is ticking along quite nicely. Let's see if he's got anything to say for himself. Let's see if we can get hold of the bear, shall we? Let's see if Russ is on the line and he's still riding smoothly. Oh, I think that's a no. As Russ just takes his way in along. So let's see if we can get hold of the bear this time round. And let's see if the bear has got anything in the tank. Russ, how you doing?
Good, mate. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. I thought you put the phone down on me, mate. I was getting all sad and
I
lonely.
No, I answered it and it declined. Red buttoned you, mate.
No, thanks, bud. I know when I'm not wanted. Well, I did deliberately pick on you on the climb on the way through because I was just keeping the check on there. And good to see so many riders on the gang tonight. I mean, we're talking big numbers. But the group is being smart here. And even over the top of this little section, if we roll back through this pack, you can see there's not really any gaps in there, despite coming off the top of a big climb and dropping down into a big descent. So great to see. The back squeezing on and trying to push in, and looks like Mr. Templeman just needs to get those. He's been dropped a couple of times. I think just got to keep that attention to the back of the pack every time. He's got some serious watts per kilo. He's kicking out 4 at the moment, so I think he'll be back on fairly quickly. But that pack is moving fast, isn't it?
Yeah, there's only me getting dropped, doing no-handed while on the phone. It's like, yeah, it's not easy. It's the DCG, isn't it? So
standard DCG. Well, we can't make it too easy for you, that's for sure. It's at the moment we're just kind of stalling. We just saying it's really tricky one to decide where to let the group go, isn't it? On this one, we've talked about this in the past because of where that hill comes with the volcano, almost exactly at half distance. It's if you go before, it's going to be in pieces, and there's going to be a lot of groups. It's kind of it's a no-lose situation almost because the gang works so well in all those different sort of scenarios, doesn't it?
To be honest, mate, I had to do a quick 10-minute research earlier and click back on YouTube to see the last time we went to see how it played out, and to have a bit of a plan in my head. So yeah, I've got it dialed, but like you say, it's hard work up that climb, so you are going to drop people, so you can't get everyone to the top. It would be nice, but let's see, like when we go to Box Hill,
Yep.
Let's see how many people we can get to the top of the climb. That's the challenge, and then we'll have a good play.
Yep, definitely.
And,
looks like
hopefully some attacks.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Martin Bolt just having a hard time on that descent. Once again, Martin just being distanced there. He's gone for a full lightweight bike, but the descent just dropping him off, and at 2.5 watts per kilo. Currently losing ground fairly rapidly on the bunch because if the gang is doing 2.5 watts per kilo, you're at the back, you're really going to be struggling, aren't you? So I think Martin probably not going to see that group again at that kind of pace.
No, you say it's got to so concentrate on that, but hopefully Red Beacon will see him and drop back for him and give him a hand and form the bus early. We have done 20 minutes, so it's not as if we've just done
indeed,
5 minutes.
It is. We're 20 minutes in, third of an hour on the way in, and 12.5 k in, so we're over quarter distance as well. Well over quarter distance, so definitely ticking along. So I'm going to let you dive off and get on the message board, and we'll just keep our eye on Martin at the moment.
Yeah, and Martin, come on, mate, squeeze on. Get up to the Red Beacon. Enjoy it. Yeah, I can see the Red Beacon has dropped out of the peloton, so he might be going back for Martin. And
yeah, there's quite a few in that back of that pack. I'm not going to leave Martin at the moment because if we leave him, I don't think we'll get back to him with that 100 rider limit. So yeah, definitely going to be a message board job. All right, mate. I will catch you soon. I'm going to let you get on. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
So Russ back in and going to be on that message board. The group taking the left-hand turn. You can see just on the top of the map and heading out and away. So the group already around that left-hand turn. I have to zoom right out to catch them, and you can see that gap has really opened up now. It's about 35 seconds now up to the main group. Martin's still ticking along at 2 watts per kilo. So you can see those time gaps just starting to drop. We're watching now as Carl Briggs starts to drop back. He's at 38 seconds. The main bunch is at 45. I think Mr. Mason just getting a drop out there, or either that or he dropped his chai latte or some equally posh southern drink that he's on with. We'll see. Looks like he's back in the room now. Carl just ticking along, and I think Martin's going to close down on him. He's going to be able to see that red beacon fairly shortly, I think, as he comes up over the top here. And you just see that red beacon in front. So currently 10 seconds from Mr. Briggs, and you can just see that differential as Briggs drops off the pace. Martin keeping on ticking on. Come on, Martin, you got that red beacon just dropping back for you, buddy. It's really difficult for our red beacons because red beacon, when they're sat in the group, they currently can't see. He won't be able to see Martin at the moment. He'll know he's behind him somewhere. He won't be able to see him. He won't be able to see what pace he's doing, which is one of the reasons why we have the YouTube coverage running consistently all the way through. So the beacons can see. You see Carl Briggs dropping at 1.5 at the moment, just to give Martin a chance to close that gap down. So Martin now up onto the boardwalk. This fantastic vista around. You can just see the epic KOM off to the left-hand side. You can see the outer Zwift up in the distance, as well as the ski station on its way up. And then just Martin Bolt is taking his way around these turns. He's going to be looking for that red beacon heading back his direction as he makes his way up on to the boardwalk. Now, we have been up the epic KOM. We've used it for a couple of routes. The Climbers Gambit, my favourite of those. Quite short and sweet. The volcano tucked out of the distance at the moment. It's actually on the other side of the observatory, as we see Martin just coming through this great scenery here. The yellow beacon just off in the distance. So Carl Briggs coming back towards Martin nice and steadily at the moment. The main group still ticking along nicely together. So Martin in that classic Z Peugeot inspired kit on his way through. And just a quick heads up, if you haven't watched the interview, the chat, the Cafe Stop chat with Matt Stevens and Pippa York, formerly Robert Miller, it is so worth a watch. I would advise everybody to watch it. It's part of the Sigma Sport Cafe Stop series with Matt, and it is a brilliant watch. Everybody, I think, who remembers Pippa stroke Robert in the heyday will appreciate it, and great to see Pippa really opening up to Matt, who was having a really good chat as well as the ride. Now, the Z Peugeot team, of course, a team that has been very busy as Carl Briggs starts to drop back. We're going to move our way up to Carl as our next rider on the road. So Carl will shortly be seeing Martin's about to actually come onto the back of this bridge behind Carl, our red beacon. So we're just going to pull up some stats for Carl here. So you see Carl can't see the gang, can't see Martin behind. He is coming steadily at the moment. It's about the back of the bridge. Looks like got Andy Singleton and the gang here behind, all just tucked in. Now the group in moving smoothly, and the message board ticking along quite well. So the back of this group now without Carl Briggs. Carl going to get that get a sight of Martin. Martin's currently just around the other side of that bend, in fact, behind them. And then Jeff Saysel, I think Jeff going to be heading back for Carl Briggs as well for the bus. It's going to be a group of three. Jeff regularly up at the front, regularly at the back, bounces his way around. He's a bit of a yo-yo rider, and all the more character for it as well, which is great. Now back in the main pack, ticking its way up and along. We're going to just try and drop back through. We should, in theory, be able to see Mr. Briggs on here. He's going to see the 100 News Riders, and that is going to be the gang behind him. Looks like just coming round that turn should be Martin Bolt. As we said, 100 riders is what it renders, and that makes life a little bit tricky. So let's just jump in with Martin, because we might be able to give our beacon some assistance. Here he comes. You can see that beacon in front. So Martin pushing towards Carl. It's down to 11 seconds here, so a good chase back by Martin Bolt. Just putting in that feather flag as well, down to 9 seconds now. So Carl Briggs is soon going to start seeing Martin basically once that gap starts to extend. And you can just see the chase coming. And then that Z Peugeot kit going to be coming around that turn. You just see that red beacon in front. And I think Jeff Saysel just yo-yoing just about in front. He's going back up to 4, so maybe I'll be trying to chase the bunch down. But now Martin and Carl going to be, the bus is formed. The drinks will be served as the first ticket punched on the red bus at the back. So amazing job by Carl, just dropping back, seeing Martin's gone off the back there, and now grabbing the bus together. So this gang going to be driving on together. So Carl and Martin going to be our red beacon group at the back, which means we also know where the very back of the ride is, which is also very handy from my point of view. So a big thank you very much, Carl. Do appreciate it. Now Saysel just chasing lane, so I think Jeff just about to come down the side of the waterfalls. Just going to see him coming in towards the villas, and then take the right hand turn. The leader's already in through the sprint at the moment, so Jeff Saysel just pushing on as they come in and through. He's going to be able to put in a pretty quick time through here, because he's got nobody around him, but very hard to match the pace of a fast moving group as they come in through the sprint round these turns. He's got lane in front of him, but Jeff Saysel should be able to do the fastest time through here. So Jeff off the back, working hard here. The main group at 104. So it looks like we've got Lane and McKenna just separated out. Carl Briggs, our red bus, just about a minute behind Jeff Saysel. So Jeff pushing his way in underneath that banner and in towards the bridge. So Jeff not much in that time. It shows you just how fast that group moves once it gets rolling. 9 seconds in front is Lane. Lane is going to see Jeff Saysel coming behind. Then it's going to be McKenna. McKenna up on that climb. You can just see the bridge that we just seen Saysel go over. Carl Briggs, I suspect he's likely to be just coming out of town. Here he goes. So Briggs and Bolt, the red beacon, coming out of town. Saysel over the bridge and on the climb. Lane on that ascent. McKenna just cresting the top of it. So this potentially could very quickly become 5 riders together. Then it's the back of the bunch, and this is the back of the main group as it continues to tick onwards. We're now into what's known as the S's. So we'll keep an eye. You can just see that volcano in the distance as we go through the S's at the moment. So just watching Mr. Thorpe keeping on diving through here. So Mark Thorpe pushes on at the back of that pack, just coming up on Simon. Run it, Simon, on that Tron bike. So the group jumping onto the back. Ian Bale, Ted and Co. Our red beacon now 220. Lane in here, and it looks like Jeff Saysel just helping squeeze Mr. Lane on here. So that's Jeff Saysel. It's going to be so a little bit of a check. It's going to be Lane B in there. So let's take a little bit of a look. McKenna just distanced a little bit. Thought back in here. The gang now coming round. They've taken that left-hand turn and now starting to head the way around this turn and heading in towards Glass Bridge. We're at 19.6k. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because we are going to find our riders working their way in and around this circuit. It's a real tough ride for them as they come in and through. There is no easy way to describe this other than being one of the hardest sections and routes to stay together as a group, because once we get onto that climb up the volcano, that stepped climb takes its toll. So first of all, coming in towards the junction, we are going to be taking the turn at the T-junction at the end, and round to the right we go. Now, essentially what we do is we do a full circumnavigation of the volcano, climbing up and then dropping back down and coming back out again. So the riders first of all will be coming around the outside and taking the left-hand turn. At the moment, nobody wanting to go. There's no keen beans off the front today, because everybody knows just how hard it is to try and stay with everybody. So the gang holding together well. A big group of riders all working together at the moment. So at the volcano, the group come. We're just sat on Russ at the moment. Always makes people nervous when we do this, because everybody thinks he's about to go. I wish I got a heads up. If only that was the case. At the moment, not happening. Russ just keeping this ticking along nicely. Paul Hunsley sat on his wheel. Looks like Fletcher right in the mix. Phillips on the heels. Andy Caldwell in there. Gareth Mason, the fat cyclist in this group. Now, the riders are going to get twitchy here. They know that things could get very interesting indeed. We take the left-hand turn, and under the arch we go. So now on to that volcano. Up we go, right the way round and round we go. Now, 3 to 3.5 max on the climb. This will shed riders. This is where it's about squeezing at the back to stay in with that pace. I'm not sure Russ will be able to get it all the way up to 4.5 watts per kilo with this massive group keeping on ramping it. That will take some doing, and you can just see riders now at the back. We're going to focus just on the back if Russ is going to keep the pace on the front. Going to try and get there. Easier said than done. He says hurtling towards the back of the pack. You can just see it is really fast moving. Here we go. We're going to get drops right off the back, which is what we don't want to happen. So let's keep ticking our way in. Looks like Young just on the back, and with the 130 riders, we're going to have to do a little bit of a sneaky trick here. We're going to go the opposite way round. So at the moment with Briggs and Bolt, we're looking to see who is going to be just up the road on the volcano. Not even our sneaky tricks are working. So if you've been distance we haven't caught you, we'll try and catch you as we come out from the volcano. The group at the moment riding well. Let's get our drone cam out to the side, just riding in with Mr. Lavery at the moment. Russ just ticking his way in and along. Now behind this group there are quite a lot of riders. Zwift only rendering 100 riders. Remember, we have about 140 or so on the ride today. So remember, the riders that we see are the 100 riders nearest to the rider that we're focused on. Looks like James just on the back, Mr. Flynn just distanced a little bit. So you can see these riders just holding the pace at the moment. Come on, Mr. James. Flynn pushes on up this climb. So our red beacon just coming in through the centre of the volcano. So that red hot section of the volcano is where the leaders came through. This is where our red beacon is, just starting to squeeze on the way through. And the rest of that pack all together as they start to go up the climb. So it's the 100 nearest riders as the crow flies that the camera picks up. You see just how fast we're climbing and gaining height on the way up here now. Darren Topper is currently our last rider in this group. Come on, Darren, squeeze on, stamp those little ascents. If you're at the back, the way to ride this climb, squeeze the ascent. If you're on the front, ease the ascent and then let it catch back up on those groups on the brake. And that is where it makes a huge difference. So you can just see the front is squeezing like mad. Needs to back right off, guys. Remember, Russ did say 3 to 3.5. I suspect there's some big numbers right on the front there. We'll just take a little bit of a run up the road and have a little look. So here's a heads up, guys. If you are going over 3 watts, 3.5 watts per kilo, expect to get a visit by the camera. We have the cameras rolling on the front of the group on the second system at the moment. We are spotting a number of riders. We will not hesitate to hand out yellow cards to people. First warnings, remember, you get a nice warning, you get a nasty warning, then you get banned. It's real easy. Bans can be temporary or they can be permanent. People have been permanently banned. It does happen because we want to make sure that the chain gang runs properly and it's there for everybody. And the key to doing that is for everybody to play the game. It also means that if people play silly whatsies, we take them out. And that's one of the reasons we have the registration, as well as exercising the duty of care to all of our riders out there. Now, Carl Briggs and Martin Bolt on the climb are riding nice and strongly here. Nick McDermott, I think, is going to be just across on the outside of the mountain here. So you just see Gary Pattison in here, looks like Brown in here, Richardson just tucked onto the back of this group. I think Keith Hayward in danger of coming backwards here. Hayward just onto the back of the gang here, and it's all about holding that group together. The pack is holding well here. We've just seen the odd riders start to get distance when they can't hold that 3 to 3.5. And remember, it's all about staying on the group, stayed in with that pack. So you can just see the gangs are holding in here. So it looks like Josh Mayland just dropping in and out. Looks like he's got connection issues on the way round. So our riders on the way up. It's not going to be long, in fact, before they only have one more loop around the volcano to do. So good to have Keith Hayward with us. And if we take a little bit of a look up above Keith, you can see the road down at the bottom. You can see just how much height we've gained as the gang have come up on to the top of this climb. Harrison now on the back of the gang here at the moment. So Terry Harrison with the rocks in the distance, you can just see below, that's the glass bridge that we came over on and turned right at the end of as we make our way around the edge here. So the gang up on to this outer terrace now, making the way around. They've got about one full lap to go from here, and the top, wow, it's somewhere up there, not inside it. Wonders of being able to drop the drone camera through the middle of the mountain. Now just dropping towards the back, Paul Hunsley, I think just at the back of this group now. Just having to squeeze on Andy Scott with the bikes and beers on here. This group is a big route to pull up to the top of the pack, and it's rolling at 3.5 still, which is exactly what Russ has called for. Brilliant to see. Well done, guys. Just keep that pace, keep it nicely together. It's looking good. Ben Worth in here, Mick Chappell, Keith Richard, Callum Jones in here, John Potts in the gang. Remember those numbers, 3 to 3.5, please, ladies and gents. So Forbes still in with this group as well, still in with the pack as we climb up here. Pattison in the gang. Come on, guys, there's a little bit of a group just starting to be distance here, and just going to take a little bit of a check. The group working really hard. Jeff Saysel just about making contact back in. It was a cracking chase there. Jeff, nice one, buddy. So Jeff chasing his way back into that group and on the climb. Now, Mr. Pattison, push on, please, mate. This is where you need to squeeze. You've done an amazing job this far. Don't let it go now. We're nearly at the top. Russ, I'm sure, will hold it together over the top, and then it can't be very long, but you need to be on the back of the group. Now, if you're in the last 4 or 5 riders, now is the time to sprint like a loon and get back onto the pack, because this is all about squeezing on behind our red beacon, keeping the encouragement going. If the gap starts to go, you have got to push. You've got to push onto the back of this group. You can't let these gaps go. This is all about nailing these gaps over the top. So when we go around the flat section at the top, if you're not in the group, you need to get into the back of the pack. Just riding in with Harrison at the moment. The worst thing about this climb, this is the steepest section, the run up into the very cauldron up at the top of the climb, and this is where that gap will open. Now you've got to squeeze. So Harrison and Forbes are in the danger zone. Pattison, Scotland also. Thomas in that danger zone as they go on the top. They've got to push here. They will be in trouble. They can't afford to let that gap go. You can see that time gap really opening up now. This group will need to form a second group now to chase around the top of the group, because once the main pack hits that descent, it will speed up exponentially. And when that happens, if you're not in that pack, it's going to take some tough going now. The guys need to really squeeze on here. Some big numbers, please, guys. This is where you need to put it in. If you don't put it in now, you're not going to get back on before the front group goes down that descent. We're going to try and jump onto the back of the pack here. Now it looks like Fiona Kestevan is going to be just about on the back of the group. Daisy Freer just in front. Come on, Daisy, you're going to in danger of getting dropped. You're one of our lighter riders, and the lighter riders are going to find it difficult. You can just see as they come around this corner, the gaps are starting to open up, and on this descent, that pack will open up the pace really, really fast. So just dropping down with Daisy Freer. Stevie Cheese on a bit of a mission. He knows he's got to get back in here. He's up at 4.3 watts per kilo. Mike Killingsworth in the danger zone on the back of the group as well. The front of the pack, though, is moving fast. Really, really, really fast at the moment. So Stevie just starting to lose a little bit of a ground. This little group at the back, they need to push on. They've got a 3-second gap to the Carl Johnson, Keith Richards group. They've got a 2-second gap to Saysal, and looks like Spence knows he's got to kick. Saysal and Spence are kicking out nearly 8 watts per kilo here from Saysal in his effort to try and get onto the back. And look how long it's taking him just to join the group. They see the red beacon go in the opposite direction. So the red beacon on its way up, and you can see Spencer go really having to push to get in with that main pack just because of the speed and the pace. The smart money stays in this group. They don't let it go. Dropping down here is absolutely brutal, and it is nothing to do with us saying a word. This is all to do with the dynamics of a massive group. Look how big this pack is on this descent. We're talking about 100 riders or so in this group, and that means that it has got that aerodynamic advantage, and it makes such a difference to the right as they work their way in through the volcano. You can just see the multiple layers as we scroll our way around the outside here. This is a big group, and again, if you're not squeezing at the back of the pack, you get distance. Basically, you got to go in, and Russ has just hit the go button. The go button has just gone as they've come down this hillside here. We're just in with Phil Lavery on the descent. This is my kind of go on the fast downhill. Liam Callaway just started to open the throttle up on the front here. So Callaway started to stretch this out, and look at that big blob. It's suddenly starting to get really strung out here. Looks like Saxton in there. Williams just holding that front of that group. Becky Story's right in the mix as well. Just looks like Michael in there. Coos looks in the group with Coos in there. Looks like Young in that group. Sadler up there. Looks like Ward's in there. Stedman in the group. Young Mr. Gilmore in as well. So no surprise to see the fat cyclist staying in with this group on the descent. But that group is fracturing all the time here as they come down this big drop. So the pace is on 75 kph coming down here. And Bertie Widdowson doing 4.5 and going backwards. Bertie, that's the downside of being a lightweight, buddy. If you are a big chunky fella like me, my 5 watts per kilo is a lot of watts, mate. I'll tell you that. It is some serious wattage coming out. Unfortunately, all those kilos going up the hill mean I get a right old kicking every time it goes up, and that's where the reverse is true on this descent here. Now, Joe Jarvis is in this leading group. Ben Cokin in here. Martin Connolly in as well. Dr. D in with Gilbert Varty. The whole shooting match in here. Gary License in this. Gary's really improved over the year as well. So Paul Mallin, he's back on the climb, and then he gets dropped on the descent. Paul, you weren't pedalling fast enough. Can't afford to ease off on the descent on the Chaingang. Mr. Mallin, never ease over the top when just stay with that group. And the moment it goes on the descent, you all want to be sat on Russ, basically. And you've got to watch who's round you. If you've got a little rider with you, you need to be in front of the little riders. So look at the watts per kilo, look at those numbers. Absolutely key. This group though now are riding along here. This is our leading group coming through. It's split out. If we take a little bit of a look behind them though, and you'll see from this leading bunch which is starting to reform. And the next group on the road are not all that far behind. We're just going to drop back off the back of this pack if we can. So this is group number 2 on the road. It's 11 seconds up to the next group in front. So in here we've got Jeff Saysel in here. We've got Tracy Seeley, I think. Just taking a double check on that. So Tracy Seeley, Chris Ball, Jeff Saysel, Brown in here, Spencer, Bertie Widdowson just behind. Now Bertie's just making his way across. Just about bringing this group behind. And this is, if these two groups actually come together, if they can work together, they are going to become a nice big pack. Look at the size of this group. Do you know what? This could put the Yellow Beacon group in trouble here if they can work together and get this group together. Andy Singleton, Gail Phillips and co. It looks like you've got Mr. Woodbridge in there. We've got Mr. Mason in there. So John's in there. We've got Anthony Spencer in. Guys, get together. Don't try and split yourselves. Don't try and stay away in that group number 2. Let the group come together, then work together as a group. You will be able to chase back the leaders. You're going to work and be around much quicker. So, group 3, just making contact with group 2. This is now going to become one big group number 2. We're going to just drop a little bit further back now. This is going to be group number 3 on the road now. There are the old solo riders in between. So Templeman, Charlesworth, looks like Hagger in here, Keith Richards in here, Carl Johnson in this group. Then let's drop back. It's going to be Cannon and Potts, McDermott a little bit further back. Craggill in with him as well. So these guys need to get together. 3 is always better than 1s and 2s. And remember, it's all about getting that group together now. Sonia Inslee, Fiona Kessler. I'm not surprised Sonia Inslee's legs are sore. It was a brutal ride yesterday, and she was getting dropouts as well. Looks like Thompson in this group as well. So Thompson just coming down the outside. Sonia, Fiona, along with McCarthy in this here. So they've got to already start pushing now. The Stevie and Jones together. McDermott just trying to close on to Craghill's wheel up a little bit further ahead. You can see Charlesworth, Spence in here. These groups just starting to fracture. Wants to go over the top here. This looks like this is going to be Richardson just starting to be a distance here. Chappell and Joe Jarvis in here as well. Then it's going to be the tail end of that Yellow Beacon group as it's gone out from that climb. It's kept the pace up. It's kept the pressure up. This group just fractured across the road. We're just trying to run our way up towards the leaders at the moment. Easier said than done as we're in with Becky Story now. Becky, of course, running for that movie star team. Another of the riders on the chain gang gets selected because of the pace and power that she has. An amazing athlete, and good to see Becky riding for that movie star team. The Yellow Beacon in there, and they are closing down on those leaders now. We know Becky's got a great turn of speed. We're coming in to the Petite KOM here, the shortest KOM basically on the circuit. It's the Mini KOM as you go up, so Watopia's KOM, it's the reverse one as well. So Swiss KOM up on to the climb they're coming, and you can just see Russ just bringing this group back in together again. So the group coming in, Darryl Tattershaw Waller in that, Chase Osborne in there as well. It looks like Jones just tucked into the back. Saxton at about 11 seconds behind, so Group 2 has basically smashed all over the place. The remnants of this group behind it. So as we go on to the reverse Zwift KOM, the climb goes up. The riders start to go backwards here, and looks to me like Osborne's going to be in trouble. Jimmy Allen, though, has decided he's not going to let this wait. Remember, we go up this climb, we drop off the other side, and it's the run back through the tunnels all the way back in. Now Jimmy Allen's gone on the attack. He puts another 9 watts per kilo attack. Young Tom Lindley is coming behind him though, and young Lindley is right on the heels of Kieran Smith there, and looks like they are going to start to bring a little bit of a group clear here. A cracking right here on the Donny Chaingang today with Kieran Smith now. This is the first kicker of that reverse Watopia KOM, and I think we're going to see 6 riders go clear here. So Kieran Smith, Tom Lindley, Jimmy Allen, Matt Gilmore, Mark Thorpe and Josh Mayland. Mayland, of course, from Halo, the rider in the purple just going around the side of Jimmy Allen. Now if these 6 work together on the rest of this climb, they will be able to keep putting time into the group behind. You've got some big hitters in there behind though. People like Isaac Oliver, you've got Eddie Dench in there, Neil Birmingham, Dale Williams, Gareth Mason in that group. It looks like Craig Genther, Russ Downing just in that group, and they need to get this group closed down. This group of 6 now splitting into 2 threes. Lindley, Mayland and Allen need to start working together quickly, because the 3 riders on the front, well, they're all very dangerous indeed. Matt Gilmore winning plenty of mountaintop finishes, very, very quick indeed. In front of him, you've got Mark Thorpe up there, you've got Kieran Smith in the black. And we saw earlier on just how fast they closed those gaps down. Oh, now they're starting to open it up. It's 6 seconds back. So this is the leaders. But remember, once we come off the top of the reverse KOM, we drop down around that spiral turn, and then it is that run back in all the way through past the Pens and back into the Fuego Flats Arch. So plenty of time riders get closed down. Nobody needs to be on their own at this stage. If you're on your own, you're in big trouble. As you hit the top now, Maitland's trying to get across this gap here. Can the man from Halo Wheels, one of our key supporters of the DCG gang, extra discounts for members of the DCG gang on all those Halo products on the site. Big thanks to Josh and all the team. They've looked after us. They look after the members of the gang as well. If you want to access those discounts as well as discounts with OTE, Velaskin at 1080 as well as Gritty and Co., then you need to be a member of the DCG gang. £25 for the month, and you get all of the links direct to your inbox. You get a heads up on all of the routes and all those discount codes coming your way as well. Now, for leaders with a 12, nearly 15-second lead on these riders, Jimmy Allen and Tom Lindley now in danger of going backwards into that chasing group. It looks like it's Adi Dench who's doing the work on the front of that group as they come up this KOM. Genther's going hard here. He's just moving up on to the front here. And Genther, I think, wants that KOM. They've absolutely motored up there as a group, and now he pushes on over the top here. Gilmore's got a 3:43. It's a 3:57 for Genther. He's not going to take that. Gilmore's got the almost gone through 14 seconds quicker, and you can see the damage that's being done on to the descent already. Go the 4 leaders. We're going to get the drone up, which is the only way we're going to be able to stay with these guys. Now coming round this turn in the road, they're on that descent and they've got to work hard. Now Gilmore's in trouble because he's the lightest of these riders, of all 4 riders. Matt Gilmore has got to get those legs spinning. You just saw a 14 watts per kilo kick from him. The yellow beacon group is directly above the riders. You can just see them in the distance as they drop down here, and our riders onto the bridge now at 26 seconds back. This is going to be a big ask. Can they hold off the group behind? The group behind is absolutely mahoosive. They're coming over the top of the bridge here. Let's drop in with them now. This is the chasing pack. It's almost 3 times the size. We've got 4, 8, 12, nearly 15 riders in that group there. So pretty much 3, if not 4 times the size. Will it have that speed that it needs to pull back the riders in front? It's 19 seconds. You can see them in front of them, but the left-hand turn is coming up, and when they go round that left-hand turn, they're on the section of road. It takes them past the end of Titans Grove. It'll take them in past the edge of the Pens, and then we will be coming hammering into that finish around the twists and turns and into Fuego. Flat sprint now at 15 seconds. We're going to take a little bit of a look back. The pressure is on. Gilmore in the yellow, Kieran Smith in the black, Josh Mayland in that purple and the Yoko jersey, then the grey, black and blue and white camo jersey as Russ Downing looks to bridge across here. Now Downing's trying to come across to this group. He's seen the danger. I'm not sure whether he was trying to bring the group back. He's coming across at some pace here. Downing's about to make contact. He got set off at 10 watts per kilo. I know he wants to get back for his delayed Christmas dinner and not just find it's going to be in the dub, but he's got to move on here. He's come across and it's still 4 seconds back. And if Downing was doing a lot of the work, maybe he's decided he needed to get across quick. These 5 now look like they've eased the pace off. They've got the bear with them, and now Kieran Smith starts to push. So Russ makes the back wheel, he makes the junction, and it looks like now he's in danger of being set on the back. He's got to do some recovery quick. Adi Dench and that chasing group at the moment, well, if they all look at each other, those 5 seconds could easily stretch out. Downing jumped across. They've got to work here now. We've got Dale Williams in here, big sprinter in the pink on the pink Tron bike, in the blue on the pink Tron bike. That's Isaac Oliver, the young 14-year-old. Looks like Bertie Widdowson's going for a bit of a lead out. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. It looks sort of like the gang are going on it. So a little bit of an incredulous shout from the back there. What you been Downing doing a lot of work? Well, look at this. He's on the front again now. He doesn't want to let that group go. And Genther now makes the junction. So Craig Genther comes across, and they get across in 1s and 2s here. Dench behind of 4 seconds. This is going to be really, really close. So Chopping now moving his way in and over. Dale Williams is biding his time now. Dale Williams is a master of getting the timing right, as is Kieran Smith. These two riders have been fighting it out for sprint wins, but we've still got a lot of distance to go. We're just coming past those pens where we set off. The Full Speed Events Avatar watching down on the pens on their own as this group starts to come back together again. Downing on the front is trying to push and keep it stretched out. Tactical Waller on the chase here. Williams just sees the opportunity to bridge across. He's waited and waited and waited. He's got immediately behind him though Oliver. In the black is Gareth Mason. Now Mason have won pretty much everything going as he comes through in the black, but then along came Kieran Smith, the rider who has taken more victories than anybody else, and now this group is almost back together. Josh Mayland on the front on a solo drive here, just comes around these twists and turns. Looks like Dench at the back, just about squeezing in to make contact, and Chopping has gone. The axe has come down and he's distanced out of the back now. A little bit of a push up here onto the front by AD Dench now as the pace just eased off. Dench decides he wants to keep that pace a little bit higher. He doesn't want to let this drop back too much here. And this could give the opportunity for Chopping to get back on the back, but now Downing goes on the front and squeezes again. Now eases back off again. He's just yo-yoing that pace. He's just revving the throttle up and down as they go into the loop. Now as they come off this loop on your map, they'll come round the right-hand turn, and almost immediately on the right-hand side will be the marker. It's an orange marker on the side of the road and the dashed line across it, and you will find that the 500-metre marker goes. Now, Russ on his way through here. He'd laid off the back of this group, then used the advantage. He's got an aero as well, so he's used that. And now you can see Gilmore is chasing him down. The youngster Gilmore having to put out 12.5 watts per kilo. He's going to go for him here as they come off the other side of it. Downing went early, and look at Gilmore go. He has gone really, really early. This is a big move by the youngster with 500 metres left. Now have they all left it too late? Kieran Smith has been caught napping. Dale Williams, well, I think he was reading a book or something, because they're all starting to sprint and they're sprinting too late here. Gilmore caught them napping. He saw Downing go. They all started to pull Downing back, and Matt Gilmore went early. He's going to hold them off. He's a talented youngster. We've seen him do well on the road. He's holding him off. It's Dale Williams who's coming behind. Williams is coming quick. He's got a lot of mass to go at, but look at this. It is going to be Gilmore takes it. Williams takes second place. Then it's Birmingham who goes in through. And great to see young Joe's do a great job here. Lindley, Oliver through, Thorpe, Mayland. Kieran Smith goes through. Eddie Dench, Jimmy Allen, Phil Lavery, Daryl Tactical Waller, Craig Genther. Looks like Gareth Mason in. Chopping goes through. Our next group at a minute down on that group. Shows you just how fast it is. That was some ride, and what a ride by Matt Gilmore. He came out, and that little kick he had, I'll say little kick, 19 watts per kilo, just a little. He is a pretty lightweight rider, but he wound it up super fast, had the power up, used it at the right time. Downing went through, and then right over the top came Matt Gilmore. A stunning ride by him. Now, are we going to see Rob Taylor hold off the group behind? They're coming at speed. They're coming quick. They're really coming quick. They're going to have him here. And I think West is going to come over the top. It's going to be West who's just going to get it, I think. So West just getting that as he went over the top there. Just seeing Kuslas coming, Conley going through, and I think Becky Story in that group. Great job by Becky coming in and through. Not surprised, quickly easing off those pedals. The Movie Star Pro doing a great job coming through in that gap now. Looks like Bertie Widdowson is starting to squeeze up towards the straight. Bertie right on the gang until they came into this sprint. He's squeezing, but Richardson's coming behind him here. Richardson's going to go for it. Just look at that. It is Richardson who's gone over the top there. As we take a little bit of a look back, I think we're going to see Dubash come through. So it's going to be Dubash who's going to take this. It's going to be Ian Bell and Keith Richardson. Gareth Licence coming through. Morn comes through. Sadler Varty goes through Callaway. Looks like Raccoon in there. Jeff Sayso just on the sprint in now. Apologies if we missed you on the way through. So Sayso now puts in a big kick. He's being chased by Vin Donahoe. Donahoe's not going to get him, I don't think, as they come in. Donahoe goes through just in front of Dowtree, Lee Allen, Greg Pilsworth, Ben Coking. Good to see you back, Ben. Chris Ball in there. Joe Jarvis comes through with Tracy Seeley right on her heels as well. So Group 3 containing Seeley, containing Fletcher as well. So that's going to be Tracy Fletcher in that group there. So Tracy Fletcher, Tracy Seeley and Joe Jarvis in that group together. Amazing job done by them. We're just trying to drop our way back in. So I think Mr. Hind just coming in and through. Our next rider is going to be Tom Hagger. So cracking ride, Billy No Mates in, Ben Worth in, Chris Goddard. Good to see you back, Chris. Now, behind Mr. Hagger is Tim Baggs, Sir Rodney, along with Jackson here. So Hagger's going to be our next rider to finish. The group behind coming pretty quick indeed, but not quick enough to close him down. So Hagger's going to get this. Great riding, a very, very fast ride. One of the great courses is that it is a cracker of a route. It's one that we introduced in the out and back a little while ago, now firmly becoming one of Russ's favourites. So Baggs through, then Sir Rodney, then Jackson. It's not all that long ago that Russ was a real Russ's favourite routes were all the real life ones. Now I think we've managed to twist his arm into liking the dreamt up ones that are like out and back now. Topless coming in, Woodbridge is in here. Who's going to take this as they come in? Woodbridge has used the feather. He's on the front. Is he going to get this? Oh, so close. So it's going to be Woodbridge, Brown and Topless going through behind him. Then it's Charlesworth, Caldwell, then Bobby Mason going through. Craggill with this next group, but Carl Johnson leading out that sprint real early here. He's gone early. He's maybe been watching the feed now. This is all about that kick into the line. Johnson buried himself here. He's got up to 10 watts per kilo, getting the very last watts out of the system. So Carl with that distance, then I think it's going to be Stevie G coming in behind him, not able to close that gap down. Then it's going to be Craggill being followed by Keith Richards. Then it's going to be Jones. A little bit of a gap back then to McDermott and Cannon, and I think Cannon and Co are coming over the top. Guess who's on the mission? It's Super Sprinter Sonia. Here we go. Super Sprinter Sonia goes for it absolutely flat out here as she goes into the finish, and somebody needs to get her a t-shirt that says Super Sprinter Sonia on there, because still manages to kick in a new PR on the way through 38 seconds. Fiona Kestevan also setting a new PR on that run in through the finish and catching Dermot. Next up is going to be Wheatley. He's got Freer behind at the moment, so that's Daisy Freer just behind, just trying to close that gap down, but on a full-on lightweight bike, whereas Wheatley, I think, is on an aero bike. He is indeed there. So aero wheels, aero bike versus Daisy's lightweight bike. It'll be an interesting sprint behind Paul Hunsley. 8 seconds. I don't think he's going to close that gap. Further 8 seconds back to Canham. Then it's going to be Forbes, Patterson, Scotland, Malin, Tom, Harrison. Still plenty of riders out on the course at the moment. So Freer now over the top, pushing on, heading in towards the line at the moment. So our next rider in will be Daisy Freer. Daisy squeezing those pedals up to 4.3 watts per kilo here, and going to come in and through the line, going underneath that rock arch. Good ride by Daisy. Good kick into the finish. Behind it's going to be Wheatley, and then Hunsley. Behind Hunsley, though, they are coming pretty quick, but I don't think they're going to close them down. It's going to be Paul Hunsley. Good ride by Paul here today. Goes through just in front. A Chris Canham is behind him. Then it's going to be Forbes. So this group now leaving that loop and heading in to the Archer. Looks like Forbes with a 40-second gap to Patterson, Mallon, Scotland, Thomas in here. So Tom in here. So 4 in here. So it is going to be our 4 riders coming in. That's Andy Tom, Andy Scotland, Paul Mallon and Gary Patterson, the 4 riders going to be coming in together. Then it's going to be Keith Hayward, who's got the company of Harrison. Then behind him, I think it's going to be Flynn, followed by McKenna. And I think Briggs and Bolt still working well as well. Just making their way up onto the climb. So they're going to be up over. This is the last climb. And great to see Carl Briggs and Martin Bolt working well together here. So we're going to drop down to Jim Flynn and just see if we can pick up our next group coming in. I suspect it is going to be Mr. Pattinson who's got the kick. Here he comes. So going to be coming in. Forbes in over the line. Next up is going to be Patterson. So Forbes in and through. Patterson putting in a phenomenal sprint. Here goes in and over the line. He's going to go through 2 seconds clear. He's got time to freewheel. He goes in ahead of Andy Scotland. Then it's going to be Andy Thumb. Then it's going to be Paul Mallin. So good ride by Mallin. And then it is going to be Terry Harrison and Keith Hayward. Keith knows the score. I'm sure we're going to see a squeeze out of Keith. And as he comes into the line, maybe he's just going to let Harrison have it this time. There's no letting Harrison have it. Look at that. He's lit the burners, to quote Hugh Porter. And igniting the burners means that Harrison is going to come through just in front of Hayward there. Great riding by them. Then it's going to be Flynn, Lane, McKenna, Briggs and Bolt. So let's see if we can grab hold of Russ. I think he's going to be hopefully on the end of a phone line somewhere. Let's see if we can get the bear back online. Russ, how are you? That was a very rapid ride today.
Wow, that was unreal. Yeah, I think it was rapid all day, but in a nice controlled. I think the last time we were there, it took us 50 minutes to get to the top of the climb. I think today we were like 46 or something. So yeah, we were pretty on the speed, but
yeah, very fast pace in there. And the vast majority of the roads going very, very quick indeed, motoring up to the top. And we were saying on the commentary, it's not all that long ago that you were saying your favourite routes were real-world routes. Might be a year ago now. And you didn't want to go, you prefer to do the real ones. And we tempted you with a couple. And this was one of the early ones that we went for, that would be a good tester and one to try and see whether the gang could hold together. And I think it's fast becoming one of your favourite routes, this one, because it's a big loop, but it's got a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's always, we were experimenting from the start, and the ones that worked were the ones that were a bit more townified, and you knew where you were and that. But I think, to be honest, without jinxing it, I think we could take the gang anywhere now, and we'd behave. We'd ride at 3.5 watts. I've just had a couple of messages saying that was the smoothest gang we've had for a while. It was painful on the climb, but tempo. That's what we need. You need to warm the body up before you actually go. We were always. I didn't want an easy ride, but I wanted an easy ride, stress-wise, and keeping the blob tight, and
And that's
we're
what we got.
Experimenting. I remember when you said, let's go out and back, and I'm like, out and back. I'm not a time trialer, But I obviously do. I was just joking, but yeah, what a gang, and we had fun at the end, and it's great. It's funny that we see Bertie saying he got dropped on the descent. He's going to do. He weighs about 3 stone wet through.
Yeah, he's about 33
But then he comments on the group that he's got an FTP increase. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what we do. The gang just draws you into that squeezing on the power after you've had a good warm-up. And, it's proven that it works, and that's just what we want, We want the young kids to say, yeah, I couldn't keep up in the front group.
Yeah.
If you can keep up in the front group, you're going to be knocking on world tour teams, because we're absolutely going up there.
Yeah, I saw Matt Gilmore. We've known Matt's been on the gang, I think, pretty much from not quite the word go, but certainly within the first few months in lockdown, and he's been a regular. He did his time at the back and working with the groups. He's one of the regulars in helping everybody along. He's a rider that we know is working hard for the group early on. But then when that kick, you put an attack in, he went over the top, and he's a youngster with a bright, bright future because he can do this in real life. I know Matt in real life, and I've seen him in action, and it's not just that he's quick on Zwift, he's just quick.
You can tell that he's quick, because when we go uphill and we lay the gauntlet down, he's the one who can ride away when we're all riding at 3s, 4s, 4.5. He can ride away and put 20 seconds to us on a climb.
Yeah.
He might not stay away if he doesn't time it right, but, to ride away from a front group doing 4.5 watts, you're going well, and then that tonight. I say he's been on from the start. He's probably been riding Zwift for how many years? He knows how to play it, and that was just perfect timing,
Yeah.
I obviously, he owes me a drink or two, but
when he's old enough to buy you one, yeah.
Set him up a treat,
I've
led some people out in my time, so
I think you've got about another 2 years to wait before he can buy you a drink. Because I think I'm right in thinking he's 16 at the minute, so it shows you.
Yeah,
still,
I think it was 15, 16. Yeah, so
yeah.
A couple of years, yeah, you can buy me a drink.
You'll have a several nights out on him by then, I'd imagine, at this rate. And good to see new riders as well. We've just got Lane on the way in now, just brand new Zwift with the basic bike and the kit coming through, but another good ride and carrying on in and through the line, doing a great job there, being chased by McKenna behind. McKenna, more experienced rider, and got those Bernstein lightweights in, so clearly been up the Alpha enough to get them. And then we've got into the desert already. It is Carl Briggs and Martin Bolt. So the man who was the perpetual red beacon for so long, Martin Bolt, with the current red beacon, and that's Carl Briggs. And a great job done by Carl to drop back. And Carl wouldn't have been able to see Martin for a long, long time, just taking it on trust that we weren't kidding. There was somebody behind him. And I think he was probably dropping back. He had about 10 minutes to drop back till he could actually see the rider that he was waiting for. And brilliant stuff by Carl Briggs. And, if we had to describe what we want our beacons to do, it's to look after everybody. And that's what he's done today.
Yeah, definitely. Martin was, he got dropped early doors. He was still squeezing on, and then Carl came back. But, they've only got 2 minutes to get to the finish line. And it doesn't seem that long ago since we crossed the finish line. So,
No.
Chapeau on such a hard route like that. It's same as real life. You get left on your own, the peloton groups are just going to speed away. So truck along and get. I think they're going to be maybe 7 or 8 minutes down over 45k.
Yeah,
not bad.
It's good going, and it's just it is that riding together, having the company, and I've been watching the message board and the messages and watching the numbers, and he's been doing a great job there of rolling along and encouraging Martin on the way through, and great to see Carl, of course, not been on all that long. We've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who helps out with the game, because of course it does make such a huge difference. I know you have got a busy evening, Russ, so we're going to not keep you from the family any longer, because we'll be in trouble. And we're going to let you go grab some food, and looking forward to next week on the Chaingang.
Yeah, definitely, and have a good weekend, guys. We might bump into each other online. There's a few spin-offs happening at the weekend, and so yeah, have a good weekend. If the sun's shining, get out, nip out. I actually nipped out yesterday for a couple of hours and it was gorgeous, so I might see if I've not got spanners and baby furniture tools in my hand and I might be able to nip out.
Well, think of you when I'm up at the National Trophy brand new venue up at the side of Broughton Hall, home of a lot of supercrosses. So going to be good to see that new venue and catch up with a whole load of people who are on the Chaingang regularly and back racing once again this weekend. Last national trophy, so I'll be up there. As these two come in towards the finish, Russ, we'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks once again, and another cracking Chaingang.
Thanks a lot, guys, and have a good weekend on the mic up there, Matt. And cheers. Thank you.
So Russ are now going to go dive off, and I think it's belated Christmas dinner, if I'm not much mistaken, and just going on his way through. Great riding by our two here, our Red Beacon Carl Briggs and Martin Bolt, getting company all the way through. Amazing stuff. And Martin, those people who know Martin know he's an absolute advocate of cycling in and around that Kirklees area, doing an amazing job, and somebody who's really on the side of the Chaingang as well. So fantastic. Well done, gang. Absolutely brilliant stuff tonight as our beacon goes through. Just squeezes on Martin, eases off as he comes in and through. And all that remains is for me to say thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel if you want to get all of the links direct to your inbox, if you want to get all those discounts from Halo, OT, Veloskin, 1080, if you want to get that Grand Tour coffee or the gritty products, then don't forget, if you want to get them a discount, join the gang. Absolutely phenomenal. Normally you'd have to be in a sponsored team and you wouldn't get what you get as part of the DCG gang. So please, guys, if you do have money, jump in. All the money goes into Russ and I basically getting the gang together, from the Facebook pages to the support online to the ticketing right the way through to the show, and of course keeping us riding. All those things help us to keep the gang together. So thank you very much to those people who have joined. Don't forget, you can catch up next week. We have 2 chain gangs. We've got a Tuesday and Thursday open chain gangs. The following week, we're back with our 3 once again. So from me, Matt Payne, stay safe. Hopefully, I see some of you up at the National Trophy, the final one up in Broughton. Do come down and have a watch if you're in the area. And we'll see you again next week on the Donny Chaingang on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel.